Hello, everyone. What a big day.
Yep.
Huge day.
Not only because one of our absolute top favorite games is actually being released officially, one that we've been playing for a decade, but we are here with two of the main people who made all of this happen, and they're going to talk to us about details that we don't know anything about.
Yeah.
And that's Richard and Lathan. I don't know your last names.
Oh,
I think it's
last
7
names.
days.
Yeah.
Nobody can pronounce my last name anyway.
Right.
So
If I had to guess it, Richard, I'd say Hunick.
that is correct.
No shit.
Really?
Yeah, it's Dutch. You must be Dutch.
Yeah, a little bit.
Nobody else can do it.
There
He
you
claims
go.
to be everything.
Yeah, I'm Dutch, I'm Irish,
Italian. I'm a little bit Greek, whatever. But enough about me.
Yeah. Congratulations,
Yes.
by the
Yep.
way.
Yeah. Well done.
Just on the whole road, for that matter. Like, all of it. What a
Yeah,
fucking ride
Yeah,
it must have been. Or
yeah. It's like running 20 marathons. Over the last 12 years.
Jeez. I can only imagine. Yeah.
I didn't know until 15 minutes ago that you started with a Kickstarter in 2013. And we can go back and look at it and see the video. It's still up and it's awesome. What was I saw that you'd reached over 500,000. What was your goal? Because it didn't have the goal on there.
I think the stretch goals was 500,000 and or 450. I can't remember exactly.
Oh, okay. So, sometimes people will be like, we want 10 grand. And then they get like,
No, I think it was 200,000 was the original goal, but there was some stretch goals that we hit all of those. The couple of YouTube folks Frankie does PC 1080p on PC
Frankie.
or whatever.
Yeah.
He did a video, and that sort of a few others jumped in, and all of a sudden we reached the full amount. And
Hell yeah.
I think we were the fastest greenlit game on Steam history because we ran the greenlight campaign at the exact same time. A tip ex-colleague of mine gave me, and it happened to be spot on to kind of cross those two things at the same time. And
Awesome.
it's a long time ago. And in development, actually, early development and conceptual stuff started in late November, early December of 2012, and then we started working on the game, and then we ran the Kickstarter. Or we announced this. Actually, we did pre-orders on our own website first, and some website picked it up in France. And next thing you know, we were making a couple grand a day on this thing. And
Wow.
wasn't ready to leave my day job, but quite yet. But after the Kickstarter and Steam, that was a no-brainer. I was losing money staying at my day job.
It's
That's
like, here we
awesome,
go. Game on, really, literally.
Yeah, it was neat to watch the Kickstarter because we watched the video, and it was neat to see what it looked like in Alpha 1 or just before any work was really done to it. It's like, even in concept, you can still see the game, but yes, the amount of changes over the decade has been pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I think we liked the voxel tech idea. We Joel and I had discovered our third partner, Christian Lang, on the internet, who had his own voxel game he was working on in Unity, and we thought voxel tech was something that we thought would allow a small team to make a lot of gameplay and a simulation in the world. And I see the style in the early development was really kind of it wasn't a chosen art style. It was, this is how many people we have to make it ugly and do a lot of things with gameplay instead,
Yeah.
And so that's what the early versions are. And then when we got more and more team members and the popularity grew, we were like, well, what if we could make this look prettier, what can we do to it? You know, and that became kind of the question we kept asking and are still asking, and is still adding stuff to it to bring the visuals up as far as we can within reason to run on all the hardwares that we're going to.
And I think that's what's so cool about the game and your process is like every alpha, for anyone who enjoys the game, it's like, they'll play it for a while, I'm sure and then they'll, put it aside for maybe something else, but then the next alpha drops and the interest is always back. So it's like it keeps it fresh with anyone as other people come in and start playing it new, but it's like everyone wants to see what's the next, the water.
The next iterations, yeah,
now
certainly,
how
yeah.
everything's working. It's I don't know. It's such a cool business model that I'm sure you didn't really plan on happening, but it's just watching the growth of it's been a pleasure for so many gamers, I'm sure.
Yeah, depends on who you ask, I suppose. If yeah, we always ask if the system that we integrated is just the basics, or did we take the time to design that well, or did we just sort of throw that in? And some people will get attached to something we feel like we threw in, and then when we change it to something we think actually has a lot more design thought behind it, some folks get upset until they play it and realize, maybe that wasn't such a bad choice on most cases. And we don't always hit the mark, but we try our best to
God, I can only
do
imagine.
so.
Like the water, just all those little decisions, the water thing, like how you must hear about what are you doing?
Oh, I want my jars back. And my
Oh my God.
Give me the jars and sharp sticks, please.
Dude, I got a list of shit to bitch to you about. But I won't. I won't do it now. I'll do it another time. Hopefully we'll get to talk.
So the jar thing,
we got time.
The jar thing it was about water's, just basic need survival being a nothing. It's like, well, why do we have it in the game? Why am I doing this action if I'm overrun with, backpacks of water, and there's the survival challenge is completely gone from that, and we ask ourselves about that, what's the purpose of the system doing in the game? You make players do this for what reason?
Right.
Let's take water out completely if it's not going to be a actual real factor. And there's an improvement coming to that. Too bad the Mad Mole isn't here to talk about it in detail, but yeah, there's some changes coming to that. Lathan might remember some of the details.
Lathan?
Am I supposed to say? I mean...
And thank you to our sponsor, Yahoo Finance. And do you finance? And by finance, I mean invest. Because if you don't, you should check out Yahoo Finance for better quotes, more news, smarter tools. Just welcome to the future of finance. That's on their website that I'm looking at right now. And seriously, they've got the news for you, and it's about information. I'm looking at tech stocks right now. NVIDIA, Microsoft. And I really don't know what I'm doing. And if you don't, you should check out Yahoo Finance. And if you do, you should also check out Yahoo Finance. Because if you want to grow your portfolio, you want to save that cash for down the road, you want to figure out the best places to put your money to make it work for you, Yahoo Finance is there. Do yourself a favor. For comprehensive financial news and analysis, visit the brand behind every great investor, yahoofinance.com, the #1 financial destination, yahoofinance.com. That's yahoofinance.com.
There's some changes coming to that. Lathan might remember some of the details.
Lathan?
Am I supposed to say? I mean,
you can say.
I'm talking about the dew collector changes, right?
Yeah. They brought back murky water. Anyway, there's some changes.
You want me to just explain it? I mean,
Go ahead.
If you
Come on, said
remember
too
it,
much already.
Indeed,
I remember it. I put it in.
There was good reasons for it.
So the dew collectors will now have mod slots. So when you use the dew collector, now you're going to get murky water from it, and then you actually have to add a filter to it to then make it give you clean water. There'll be other mods that increase.
You've already made.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I just said sons of bitches. I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt your flow.
No. It's fine. This happens every time we take something away.
I naturally complain about anything that's going to make things more hard, so sorry to interrupt.
We want you to struggle. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our hopes and dreams.
So we think that there's a thing called a good struggle and a bad struggle. And a good struggle is, I know what I'm supposed to do. I just have to overcome this challenge. A bad struggle is I don't know what I'm supposed to do, or it's an unfair death loop thing.
Yeah.
I just keep dying unfairly. If you blame your death on yourself, then that's a good struggle. If you blame it on the developers, it could be that's kind of a bad struggle, if you will, but survival is games are about the constant struggle, and we don't want it to be like survival Demon Souls or something like that. But I
think they're going to blame us regardless.
Some people
It's
will.
all good. It's all good. I should bitch less every day. I realize this.
I mean, it's my favorite game, hands down. Like
mine
it's
too,
my
actually.
favorite game. So I mean, that's something.
Yeah, and I am. I think I'm one of the people that love the struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the modding community. It's like, you know, things like Darkness Falls where they're adding like more struggle.
Yeah.
It's like some people like they love that early game, and I'm one of those. It's
It
like I
depends
love
on the game
the
for
early.
you.
Say what?
Depends on the game for you.
True, but I love 7 days early game where
Yeah.
it's like, okay, man, I really got to scrounge for supplies.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and water now. Yeah,
I like the struggle,
I'm in for it.
Yeah, if I don't jump into a game and feel like I have to solve a problem, I get bored pretty quickly.
Right.
That's just it.
Exactly.
If the problems don't progress with you in some fashion, you will lose interest.
Surely.
And you'll go to another game. You know.
There's a few out there.
Yeah.
Games out there. Yeah.
Now your game and our channel are close to the same age, and I don't
Yeah.
think we found your game until maybe a year into our channel. And when I saw it, I didn't know how long it'd been out. I thought it was an old game at that point.
It looked like an old game.
I was like, "Why have I not heard of this? This is like the other survival games we play, but I can dig a hole and do whatever I want with the environment." I was blown away and was surprised it wasn't like the biggest game out there.
Yeah.
And then we started doing a series, and it's been a part of our channel ever since. And
Yeah. No, it's always a pleasure to go back to.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only game that I've played for hours for fun.
It's true. It's true.
I shit you not. And it's just like, wow, look at this.
Every other game we make him play.
Every other
all
game
those other-
forced to
Sorry,
play.
yeah, sorry, all the other developers out there who are listening to this, and we don't play your game for fun.
Now the water, I tell you, and that's why the water part of it, like, because I did get used to, like, I felt comfortable, but then when you throw the water and having the water catcher and blah blah, that was a wrench that will take me 6 to 8 months to get used to.
Or you've lost a player.
Or you lost a player.
Yeah. Well, we hopefully.
We'll win you back.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, you know, it wasn't perfect, but I think it addressed a lot of the issues with it. And Joel and Alan and Sasha, Lathan, we debated it pretty good for a while about what small improvements we could do to it without throwing it away, because we didn't think it was a broken system necessarily. It's just more like, how do we give players early water that maybe isn't awesome and is retain the struggle and give some progression to the water. So that's what some of the new things address. And maybe you don't have to have 3 or 4 of those things in the long run. You can have one that has higher output because of the mod slots.
I was gonna so
That's water under the bridge now.
so you brought up the water because obviously that was a big thing. What would you say was your number 2 or number 3 thing that you've heard or gotten the most pushback on?
Over the years?
Yeah, even in the most recent years. You know, we didn't jump on until 16, I don't think.
Well, the skill system change, learn by doing, was a big thing
That's
for people.
right.
Books, yeah.
Yeah, that annoys me too.
And the main argument there is really this: if you want to build a skill system that doesn't have a metric of doing an action that's one-to-one with the thing you're getting better at, let's say you want to ragdoll zombies with a sledgehammer. Well, what makes that happen? Just using the sledgehammer? It's kind of a bonus type of thing that, you know. Or a real good example is getting better at wearing armor by running into a cactus and repeating that action. And we're teaching players to do things that aren't really considered fun in the game, just to min-max. And they do it subconsciously, I think, because you find yourself in Skyrim, crafting a million small blades to get better at smithing. And so you can eventually get better at crafting, you know, whatever, enchanted swords or something. But a system like this, like we went to, is not only does it open the avenues up for doing skills that do not have one-to-one skill actions in the world, so you can design cooler things. It's balanceable, and players will not be doing those silly actions. They'll be playing your game instead of doing silly actions. And I think that's self-evident, and it's hard to argue against that. I think if you really sit down and you're pragmatic about it, and you're not irrationally, emotionally attached to an old way of doing something.
Yeah.
Simon.
I don't know. The internet can argue about it.
Yeah, it's true.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
They can.
Yeah.
And they will.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will.
Yeah.
It's
People
part
will.
of the fun though. Like,
Yeah.
hey, the game changes now. Like, oh, I like this. I don't like this.
Mm-hmm.
And every player's different.
You know, to be good at debating, you have to be open to others' ideas. But you also have to be pragmatic and not emotional. I mean, over a good debate on design. I consider game design more of a science than it is an emotional thing. So that's how we look at it.
Yeah.
Where are we at with farming right now? Are we back to like planting in the ground or on farm plots?
It's still farm plots as far as I know. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that's changing.
Okay.
That was a big adjustment for me whenever that happened. I'm okay with it now.
Here we
I'm
go.
over it.
All right.
We shouldn't spend. I was just about to say maybe I should stop asking what people are complaining about.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Focus on complaints.
Let's go
It's like,
positive.
Let's exactly.
No, this is the fun. This is the drama.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, we can
What's,
see.
what's going to be the most controversial thing in the next one?
Oh,
1.0.
any boobies?
Oh,
What's the
exciting?
community going to be set ablaze about?
Yeah. What is it?
We don't think there is anything, but really, I mean,
Oh.
there's some people are saying, well, because you've had set bonuses to the new clothing, you've got to give me a wardrobe feature that's on my person so that I can wear my mining suit. Then I can switch to my stealth suit. Then I can switch to my bartering suit, or whatever. And I think, well, wait, would you do that? Yeah, and we've talked about a wardrobe just to kind of organize your stuff at some point, and it's on the roadmap.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
Or an easy idea is what I should say. It makes things easier. Therefore, I'm happier.
it's a convenience feature.
Yeah, but we're not deaf to that feedback, and we thought about a wardrobe, and how we implement wardrobe is still being debated, but we will put a wardrobe in, and it probably will have kind of a quick change feature of some sort, and you can say, oh, I'm going to go mine for a while.
Yeah.
Boom, I'm in my mining outfit. Now I'm getting mining bonuses, and I can get lucky and get a piece of silver once in a while.
Yeah.
Or whatever perks it might have. That's more of another Joel topic. I don't know. I don't have the document in front of me.
Yeah, you should probably stop sharing details on that.
All right. I'm sorry.
Anything at the end, you just let me know, and I'll pretend I'll cut it out.
No,
I just
it's all fair game, I suppose.
yeah, that's fine.
Sharing it in a dev stream later, where with more details, can certainly still happen. And I barely scratched the surface of the system. It's pretty deep.
And the implementation could change. So
Sure.
I mean, it will still be something that performs what you're looking for with a wardrobe. How it's implemented and how you do it, that could change.
Yeah, we don't think there's going to be a lot of drama. I think some people say, well, you're leaving early access. Okay, well, it's not. Wait, it's not done. It's like, well, is Minecraft done yet?
Right.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
like it's semantic. It's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, all right, no, it's just a new name, 1.0, sure.
5 years ago, were you like on track? Did you think that, okay, yeah, in 5 years we're gonna release it? Or 5 years ago, did you think it was going to be 2 years, and then you ran into issues, and then it just kept on getting pushed and pushed?
I'd say we keep moving the goal line.
Yeah.
And we don't want to, but
Yeah, it happens, of course.
There's a quality bar, and it's like we feel kind of like this. We couldn't have done this great of game, even with hindsight, to go back and say, what would you have done? It was like, well, wait a minute. We grew the team organically from 3 to 65 with some externals. And we've grown it organically. What we've also grown is the simulation, the tools, the team, and we've learned something from every alpha release, something from the community and something from our own assumptions of what we thought a system might come out like. And like, did we hit the mark? Pretty good on that, but it could use a little bit of this and that. And when you sit in your own silo as a developer for 5 years, and you had let's say we had a 500-man team, and we knew the game we wanted to make from that Kickstarter, and we had 500 unlimited resources, 500 Grand Theft Auto size team.
Yeah.
And we had 5 years to do it. I don't think we would have came up with the same game. It would have been
Different
probably
time,
more.
different technology. I mean, the fact that it came out now makes perfect sense. It had to come out now because it wasn't done until now.
But
I was
also,
just
the
curious.
feedback is what helped.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's
with everything.
what formed it with you
Yeah.
guys.
You learned, working at Gearbox, Borderlands 2 was a much better game than Borderlands 1. They
Yeah.
were able to digest what happened with 1, what did they like, what did they didn't like,
Right.
what did the team like, and then build a better Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
Multiple releases teach you even more than that. And I think that our tool keeps developing, and okay, we got these street tiles, and that makes random gen 10 times better. And we changed it to a content-driven approach because that algorithm was just kind of too hard to try to twice each house and have it look like a reasonable city, and when you're building something that's never been built before, there's a lot of technical uncertainty. So you have assumptions and you have your educated guess as a developer, if or intuitive guess, your instincts, your gut.
Yeah.
And people don't always want to believe people's guts, even if they have a lot of experience. And sometimes those assumptions are right, sometimes they're mostly right, sometimes they're wrong. And this development style, I think, has led to the sum of its parts working in the simulation the way it does, And I can't imagine developing it. We don't have the knowledge back then when we started this that we do now.
Yeah.
Could we make a second one way faster? Yeah, because we know how it works, and we could build on the tech. And
I was just going to switch gears a little bit and go to a very cliche question that might have even been explained in the Kickstarter, but like initial inspiration for the game. Like we noticed that it was 30 days to die, right? Wasn't it?
Is that a thing?
Like
First I heard
Rick,
of it.
you should tell them the Thanksgiving story. Everybody really likes hearing that. And that's where they came up with the idea.
Perfect.
So.
This is what I wanted to hear.
Summer is calling, so that's just another excuse to order Factor, because Factor gives you no prep, no mess, meals delivered straight to your door. And I love them. Chef-crafted meals, no less, with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. And when I eat Factor on the regular, one of the biggest reasons I do it is because they are never frozen meals and dietitian approved. And everything is ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. That's why I did it. I forced myself for probably an average of 6 meals a week to eat something that not only is healthier for me than most of my choices out there that I would choose on my own, but I also don't need to really think about it, except for the one time a week where I go and I pick my menu, which is actually fun. So head to factormeals.com/Neebs50 and use Neebs50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code Neebs50 at factormeals.com/Neebs50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Thank you, Factor.
That's where they came up with the idea.
Perfect.
So.
This is what I wanted to hear.
So this was Thanksgiving of 2012. While I was visiting Nebraska and visiting my brother Joel and my older brother Nick and my mom, who's passed away recently. And,
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I was going to put a public post about it, but I'm still absorbing it.
Yeah.
But anyway, we gathered for Thanksgiving, and I was working for Gearbox at the time, and Joel was working for NCSoft and also making Skyrim mods on the side.
All right.
He was doing technical artwork for NCSoft, and we'd both been playing a lot of Minecraft. We'd both been watching Walking Dead series. We were both sort of Fallout fans, and we thought, wouldn't that be great to? Hey, remember that time in Minecraft when a zombie beat on your door and then you're like scared the shit out of you, and you're like, wow, I wish that happened a lot more.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, well, wouldn't it be great to make a game that culminated Fallout, Minecraft, Walking Dead, and into one universe? And that idea just stuck in our heads after that Thanksgiving, and we just started talking, and I presented a kind of a 2-pager for Joel, and then we went back and forth on this 2-page design originally called 30 Days to Die. So we found what technology? Well, Unity's pretty good. Here's this guy who's done this Unity game that is kind of in the works, and Joel reached out to a couple different people, and so did I, and he ended up striking up a conversation with Christian Lang, who had been programming for BMW for 25 years or something as a computer science major, and he had this side game he was working on called Block Defender. And we said, well, hey, we've got this idea for this other game, and we started testing the waters to see if we could work together. And next thing you know, we developed base tech that he had, and we convinced Christian that his Block Defender game was not as viable of an idea as this game called 30 Days to Die. And he said, well, that's an ambitious idea. That's going to take a long time. Can you make a leaner design? And so we thinned it out to something what would be Alpha 1 in, a 6-month period or something like that. And we decided, well, since it's a lighter title, let's lower the name. Let's change the name to 7 Days to Die. That has a better sound to it anyway.
It does.
And it became the metagame too, all of a sudden, and it just kind of came into vision there, and that was sort of the origin story, if you will.
And that's what everyone looks forward to, is this every 7th day. Like, as soon as your Horde night is done, you're just thinking about the next one, and it just keeps that, like, the intrigue and the.
And sometimes that's not enough. You want a Horde night every night.
It's true.
In early versions, it was kind of like that, but then it became, oh well, wait. 7, that's a pretty good metric. In 7 hours you can, and I think we had 40-minute day cycles or something like that then, so it felt like, oh, I play for about 3 hours and build and look, and then it became more of an hour, so it's 7 hours. But the metagame, we were aware of the metagame, but it didn't lock into the name actually until sometime before Alpha 1, I think. Or
that's the first time I've heard you explain that part of the story, the 30 to 7. I thought for sure you were going to say Christian said he wanted a leaner game, so you came back with, well, what about 7 days instead of 30?
That sounds easier, right?
Is that cool?
Yeah.
well, the name change happened to coincide with lowering the scope a bit, into what we could do in an Alpha 1, and then the Kickstarter sort of came about and changed that. We had more funding. It was like, well, hey, maybe we can make this whole game, the ambitious version of it. And little we know, I mean, I knew how ambitious it was, but it's kind of like, wow, it's like you're going to a Vegas buffet and you go, oh, that looks good. And that looks good. Let's do this. That looks good too. And next thing you know, you've got this giant plate of features, you know, and you're like, how do we get all these to a really high quality and get this done? And there you have the 12 years of development. Everybody thinks as, well, these guys are such bad developers. They're so dumb. They don't know how to make a game. They just can't get it done. And look at the feature set. If you think about it, doing a high quality feature set and the sheer amount of content, I think you could stack 4 or 5 of you guys' favorite other survival games, and they wouldn't combine to the scope and features of this game if you added them all up.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's grown with the community that plays it. Like, it's been a pleasure to watch, really.
And that's the part that, if you don't understand game development, you just think, well, you must be dumb. You guys can't get it
Why are
done.
you still in alpha? Yeah.
And when I brought up the timing earlier, and never did I ever think that it was like a dumb thing to take a long time. I understand that things take time, and what's good is, obviously
Although we just put a game out and only took a couple months.
Oh yeah, well, we did that. I mean, Hot Dog Runner is a superior game to 7 Days, but it's a different type of game. I don't even want to get into that. You won't even understand.
Well, it's a derivative of the Minecraft sort of business model and just sort of the ambition level of our team to achieve this, full on Walking Dead simulation with a fully destroyable world with, cities the size of Grand Theft Autos where you can explore the entire building.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Name another game that can do that.
Yeah.
None of them.
Not one.
Not even Hot Dog Runner.
Not even Hot Dog Runner.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Richard, you don't realize what Hot Dog Runner is, so we're going to stop referencing that.
We are not going to talk about that.
You guys haven't played Hot Dog Runner?
Hot Dog Runner. No, we are. We know.
Well, okay. I'm going to have to look it up after. It sounds like something like one dev did in like 6 weeks or something.
That's it. That's exactly it. You're on the side, and it's us. So anyway,
but it's an Alpha 1.
Yeah.
Oh, you got
Yes.
You just wait though. 14 years from now.
14 years it's gonna be fucking.
You're worried,
crazy
guys.
Game. No, all the respect, 100%. I mean, I can't imagine the amount of work that it's taken. You guys, and really, I mean, how many marriages has it? My goodness.
Great question.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not gonna say that.
At least 2 that I know of.
Well, we have a thing in the credits where we thank people that we all know that weren't here. They're no longer with us. So you guys experienced that too on your own team. And when you're in development that long, it's going to touch a lot of people's lives. It's like, wow, you realize that's like 20% of my life or whatever. I've been working on this game, and
it's amazing.
And you're still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited about the if I remember seeing you guys' timeline, the weather overhaul.
Oh yeah.
Can you drop any info about that?
Okay, so we wanted a solid way to improve the weather, make it more understandable for players, and improve the overall progression of the game. So you can have elemental protection that allows you to dabble in a biome, and that would be more like I suppose Valheim or Zelda.
Okay.
But then eventually you get the full protection, and then you can go live there, work, do jobs there, start a base there if you want, but improve the progression of the game in some ways, along with making weather a better thing.
And
So,
easier to understand.
easier to
So-
understand. Not so many variables in there as to the rain, snow, elevation. It was kind of over designed, if you will. I wanted to say about 1.0. Some might say this is just another label. It's 22, it's 1.0, but what they don't realize is we've had an additional 8 programmers from Australia working on the base game with us in our actual same database, along with our full team, all pushing towards the same goal. Alpha 22 is 1.0 is the console release, and it has parity. And what do we need to do to improve the base game so that the front end tutorial is better? What do we need to do to make performance better for everybody, including Xbox X Series, which is our bottom spec now? And so a lot of work has gone into that thought, and the benefactor is all platforms. So if you got a dad's hand-me-down potato, will it run? I don't know what level of hand-me-down potato you're talking about there. Laptop, an old laptop. But if it struggled a little bit, but you could play it before, it's going to play a lot better now. So we do have some optimizations and a lot of polished type stuff. The human enemies look really, really good. There's kind of like this gaze system that's gone in where if you're with your friend and there's not a zombie near them, and if you're kind of within a reasonable field of view, they'll kind of look at you like, "Oh, how you doing?"
Cool.
And
Yeah.
it really adds a lot of realism with the new player system. And if you guys obviously play a lot of co-op, so that's anybody who plays co-op will appreciate that, along with how realistic that makes the players look. And there's still plenty of player agency with the head variants, hair variants, race variants, eye color options. Can you make a Pinocchio character? No, but we'll probably add some DLCs where you can switch out your hat to cover your entire head and look like a Smurf if you want. But who knows what we might end up doing for that kind of stuff. That we could do in like Twitch drops too, or so we're gearing up towards more cosmetic options. And once we have more cosmetics, we'll allow you to whatever you found in the game or whatever you've purchased as a DLC. You can have the agency to make yourself look like that in the game, yet have the armor protection that you want to have. So it's a little bit more like, I suppose there's a Harry Potter game, I think, that kind of does that, where, hey, I like my guy to not have a helmet on, but I want the full protection of the mining helmet or whatever.
Like is it transmog? Is that what that's called?
Well, that's what it's called in World of Warcraft. I don't know
Okay.
if that's the full term, but yeah, it's similar to that.
Gotcha.
Yes. But I think that one, you change the item itself to it, but this will be more like I can set where my head is always this helmet, even if I swap out 3 different.
Okay,
pieces.
yeah, understood.
So for 1.0, all the armor is redone, and we have the new player character head, beard, race, hair color, eye color, all that stuff, and it's all working really good. The cosmetic agency part is coming with the wardrobe system, so you can kind of pick how you want to look, but yet have the armor protection that you actually have on your person.
I don't know if you guys can talk about the bandits. I know that's coming in a later feature, but
a lot of work's been done.
Yeah.
A lot of the models. Steve and Sean have worked on pathing and taking cover and some other variables with it. We've talked a lot about how we want to handle them as far as in POIs, and
But we probably shouldn't share those details just yet.
All right.
well, yeah, they're still
Lathan, you ruin everything.
Come on.
we're still debating, how the best to tackle that.
And that's why I'm saying.
All right.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
trying to share because
Yeah.
it's not cemented, so we don't want to tell you something and then
Yeah.
That's
It's
for
a
sure.
year later when it releases.
But it's okay that
like
we
this-
tease, right?
Yeah, sure.
I think it's
Yeah.
something we've wanted for a long time, though, because you want to have something that can fight you at range.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a nice change whenever that's ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, a new enemy threat. Yeah, it can be a lot of fun.
It'll likely tie into the biome progression a bit too, a fair bit. So there's a larger presence in certain biomes than others.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah. Oh.
And this is all supposed to be happening. I mean, I remember seeing you in a video saying June-ish. Is that right?
1.0 June looks pretty realistic yet. We're
What year is
just
that?
kind of
Yeah. Wait.
no,
2048.
That's a
yes,
detail.
yeah. This June. So we think we're going to hit an experimental in May. Yet we think
Sweet.
it's possible, but it could be a early June experimental and a late June stable. That's also possible.
I didn't even think of experimental being a part of it. So yeah, that's great.
Well, we want to keep up that particular thing. We are still wanting to do a streamer weekend, but it may be navigated through.
Why don't we share that detail later?
Yeah, all right, on that.
I didn't know your lawyer was here.
Lathan, you ruin everything.
I know. He's making it where I had to sit here.
You're just being
Censor
responsible,
him.
Lathan.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
Checks and balances.
They're gonna shit on you. I'm not gonna shit on you, Lathan.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Oh, people are cussing me right now listening to this.
The good thing is we can do a submission for console during experimental or shortly after, once we feel it's stable enough, onto consoles, and then have like others have done, have a day one patch that's really like a stable 1.1 or something cooked up and ready to download. Then it's digital only, console version's digital only at launch. We've talked about doing a retail SKU. We didn't want to complicate this release or make people wait any longer than they already have.
Exactly.
They've been waiting, like, you realize this is 7 years of content?
Yeah, for the console
It's
players.
been 7
Yeah.
years. That was my question.
yeah.
I didn't know. So it's such a big thing now.
Yeah, that'd be a huge jump for
It's
them.
coming in such a drastically different form, than it was.
7 years ago.
Yeah. It must be really exciting to see what's going to happen there for you guys. I know I'd be psyched to be like, all right.
You're right there. Like, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
After this
so
road,
close.
you're like right there. It's nuts.
Congratulations on that too. That's
Thank
such a
you.
big thing.
We're working out of one database. Our plan is to keep parity as close as we can. So every release within weeks of stable or less console launch happens. Crossplay already works, but we
nice.
don't have the actual green light completely from Sony and Microsoft to
The approval.
Yeah.
Yes.
the approval, but they think they will approve it. I think the long-term sort of dedicated server game those guys have never got to experience. So that'll be great, and then that's in the holiday patch, or it could come sooner. It could come sooner potentially. I mean, it works already. On launch, I think we're talking some pre-generated maps for the console guys, but we think a shorter than holiday generating your own maps will happen. That's what we're hearing from the programmers in Australia. So
And we know we can't trust Aussies, though, right?
Right.
Right.
Cut down. Just take it.
Keep it down.
they don't all drink Foster's beer, by the way.
Oh no,
It's
that's
so true. But
Yeah.
they all
She keeps trying to tell us that.
Yeah.
daily Vegemite diet, though.
they really do like
Oh,
the
not
Vegemite.
Vegemite. Oh.
They really do like it.
Favorite?
Have you tried it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
gross.
Oh.
It is really something.
I mean, it's something
it's-
with butter.
It's salt paste. It's
It's
disgusting.
It's an acquired taste.
Now, when Asteki puts it on bread with what, mayonnaise or butter? And,
Butter.
It's all right.
Vegemite.
Butter.
It's not too bad.
I ate it. I thought it was
Yeah.
pretty good.
If we all
I tried
wrecked
a
a plane
giant
together and we
spoonful.
had that, it'd be all right.
Yeah, you got to mask
It
it,
was
with
edible,
something.
not pretty good. I changed
Yeah,
my
so
answer.
it's gross enough that you have to cover it up
Edible.
with something else.
Yeah, it's that good.
Right. Oh yeah, I didn't want to keep that taste in my mouth.
I'm going to knock this out before I
Go.
forget. Favorite zombie movie? Each of you, go.
28 days later.
All right. All right.
Damn it, that was. Well, actually, you know what? I think Zombieland. I think that would
Okay.
be.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Zombieland's fun.
Zombieland.
I haven't seen 28 Days.
Is that with Bill Murray?
He was in it.
Zombieland?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was
that
in
was
the
a very
first one.
good. That was a very, well done movie.
Solid answers. Solid answers. All right.
28 Days Later is getting a sequel, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, like 28
Yes.
years later.
Yeah, that's
28
Killian.
years.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I think I'm probably the only zombie movie.
No, I got a
liker.
favorite zombie
Oh,
movie.
okay.
Oh, it's a Return of the Living Dead.
Oh,
Oh,
I watched that. Man. I love that movie.
It's so
The
fucking
original
good.
black and white.
No, that's
No.
Night of the Living Dead.
Okay,
Return of the
sorry.
Living Dead
Right.
is like this weird offshoot
You know.
comedy sequel that's just so fucking fun. I love
Great
it.
answer. Between that probably and the original Dawn of the Dead for me.
What was the Brad Pitt one?
World War Z.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
good.
World War Z.
Yeah,
That was
that was
fun.
great.
That was good.
Yeah.
I read one of the
That's my-
few books that I've read so drastically different. It was the book was just short stories.
Yeah, right.
It's my favorite book on zombies because I did read that. And yeah, Zombieland probably. I can't think of anything else. I was not into zombies or anything really scary.
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the
Shaun of the
Dead.
Dead.
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead. Yes.
That
Yeah.
was
That's-
actually that's changing it. Shaun of the Dead.
That is a good one.
Simon
That's
Pegg
great.
is that guy's
Yeah.
actor, and then his other, which by the way, so his buddy Simon Pegg's buddy's got a horror movie out now. That's a weird, like the first part of it looks like it's a totally from the perspective of being like inside of a 1980s like TV show. And then it jumps out from that into like this crazy murder fucking like horror thing. So by the way, look out for that. I wish I had details, but I shared one of the few things I shared recently was a trailer for that. I'm like, I need to see this because that guy opposite Simon Pegg is also great, and he wrote and directed it.
All right.
In the
that
7
one of
Days to Die movie?
Are you
Is
drinking?
his name Nick Frost?
Yes,
I think, isn't
Nick
that
Frost.
Nick Frost.
Nick
Yeah.
Frost.
There we go.
If you search
Yeah.
Nick Frost, whatever, maybe he didn't write it, but I think he directed it. Anyway, what?
Yeah.
I was just saying 7 Days to Die movie. When can we expect that?
Or the TV show. I mean,
Or the-
come on.
yeah, series?
Yeah.
We
God.
wanted to make it for
We're,
you.
we're in the
Dude.
golden age
Yeah, Rick,
of.
when do we expect that?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm curious too.
we've had some inquiries about that over the years, and a few people. We're actually for Blood Moons. We're doing a live action trailer that's really going to be cool.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so we might be the more to come on that. You
All right.
know.
Okay.
Yeah, it might be a sample of what a movie could feel a little bit like in the universe.
Yeah.
Closer than the original live action trailer, which actually was really cool. But this one's got a significantly higher budget. So
Okay.
Sweet.
It's gonna have some really cool background zombies in it.
Yeah.
some cool,
one of some real handsome ones.
yeah, that are in this call.
I love it.
Well,
So
one-
we're in it. Okay,
Yeah.
we made it.
We got to have
Nice.
the thick
Finally.
zombie in there too. Listen, Richard, we did speak about some comedy concept in the realm
Oh,
years
yeah.
ago. Man, we can make funny comedy babies together.
That would
In
be
the email to me.
There you
that
go.
would- yeah, that might help.
There you go.
like-
Yeah, we'll
yeah,
we'll
I'll
figure. Anyway,
We'll get our
sorry,
Lathan on.
I had to squeak it in. I don't know if you happen to mention anything that you happen to be most excited about on this, this new release.
Well, there's a couple of features that I think are going to be the silent heroes, so to speak, of this build that I think most people would maybe don't think is that going to be that much of a game changer. But the full-on overhauled, significant work into the new dismemberment with pro particle effects with
Ooh.
it is pretty darn cool, and everybody can say, "Wow, good job, Sean! Combat's so much better now." Well, you could thank the guy, all the character artists and the particle effects artists, Andres and our character art team, and Steven, who spent significant work making a sort of a universal dismemberment system where there's special jibs for almost pretty much every zombie. And
Oh, that's awesome.
I think that feature is really nice. And with the character system overhaul, the other unsung heroes are the animation team, who put a lot of effort into making all the third person and improved first person and third person animations for the game. So when you playing with your buddy, it doesn't have janky animations anymore. It's got, because the new character, the rig and the way UMA and all that worked, I think sort of led to a lot of, like, I don't think we can make it much better. It's not worth putting any time into, but now, so those things I think are going to be really, really noticeable to anybody who's played it before.
Just the zombies over the years have gotten better and better. Just their animations, like it's amazing.
Well, it's true. The alt clothing thing is pretty darn
Yeah.
cool too. That one suddenly you see a guy in a bowling shirt. Like, who's that guy?
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, really? Different zombies have different.
Which is a great, easy, just to like vary the zombies and even more, like through something kind of as simple as that. That's going to be effective. Make it seem a lot more diverse as far as the amount of different types of zombies coming. It's cool.
So this guy over here has coded a new challenge system, which we're using to gate and improve the front end tutorial to teach more new players. Get them first past that first 3 hours so that they can, that's the learning curve. If you can have fun without dying too much at the 3 hours, you might see the beauty of this game.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, if they don't make it that far, they may not see the beauty of it, and that's true with any game, I think.
It's replacing the journal system, so it's a more interactive way of learning how to play the game. And we'll have other challenges that are more kind of achievement hunter type things as well.
Okay.
It opens there's some like difficulty type stuff, but it also opens the door to do something that had sort of time challenges for get double XP towards this DLC hat or something. If you play this, we've discussed
in a later release.
In a later, yeah.
You're overselling it
now. So it opens the door for those kind of things for us. It also replaces the front tutorial because it's built into the challenge system. It's kind of like the first two sort of levels of challenges are getting yourself clothed and learning how to harvest, and then meeting the trader, and then doing some basics of homesteading so that you won't have to craft that campfire along the way to the trader, which was just something you see on the servers. Oh, there's another campfire.
Oh yeah,
and a couple of blocks.
Yeah, block with a campfire
sitting on top.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun detail in the movie when that comes out.
Yeah.
What's this?
It
One
also
block with a
makes it-
campfire?
Poppy!
Shut
Poppy!
Damn dumb dog.
Damn it.
Is that really happening, or is that a stage thing?
That was
No,
really.
no, yeah. That's going on.
That's
They
how we
just
wrap
didn't want
up
to talk about it
interviews.
anymore, so they just
Yeah, we got
over. It's time to go, guys.
We got a place around the corner that sells high quality meat, and we get people coming to the door all the time wanting meat.
And we got
They're
the
not in
meat,
the right-
but not that meat. You know what I mean?
We're in the wrong
You know what I'm
spot.
saying? I was going to ask a quick question, just kind of because I've watched a couple people play, and not that you guys are making it, but like some people play 7 days in VR. Have you tried that?
I tried a little bit, but
Yeah, I was just
not
curious.
very much.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks cool.
Yeah, they seem to really enjoy it. Like one guy was like, "This is badass in VR." Like I could only imagine, really. Like I'd shit my pants for sure, but
Yeah, headphones at night, out in the waste.
couple of our
land.
guys talked about it, and it looked promising.
Yeah.
And I think there's some things to do with making like a bow animation really cool,
Right.
or
Yeah.
I haven't played a lot of VR though. I did buy Quest 3 and play Resident Evil 4 all over again.
oh, how'd you like it in that?
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh God, I gotta.
Yeah.
I
It
gotta
adds a
tweak
whole new
it.
level
you
of
can,
immersion, man.
Yeah, you can do like actions like grab your knife here, or no, wait, that's a grenade up here, but you can
Oops.
this hip is this. And,
Throw your knife into a crowd of zombies.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, until you get used to it, though, it's easy to like drop a grenade by your own feet, kind
Oh,
of.
yeah.
Like, oh crap.
Noted. I'll keep that in mind. I gotta play that. Yeah.
Now listen, I'm gonna throw this idea out. It's I think Duralis's idea from years ago.
Yeah.
What are the chances someday, when you die in the game, your body becomes a zombie, and just runs off, and you have to spawn and chase it down and kill it and get your stuff back?
Joel and I have actually talked about some mechanic like that. So it's
I
like
think that's been talked about before.
your
yeah.
backpack.
Oh, yeah.
You got to go chase. Where's my backpack? And
Yeah.
you gotta
And then your body attacks your friends, like they would have to kill it if it's,
get my loot. Wait.
Yeah, they're just
No.
saying that they've talked about it so they could jack the idea.
They got proof.
So, for anybody who's afraid that we're going 1.0 and we're changing our development style or we're going to stop developing the game, I think those are just rumors. I wouldn't feel that way. of course, we want to be more disciplined on our time and our scope and everything else. But I think it's in our DNA that if somebody comes up with a really cool idea and we go, damn, I wish you wouldn't have said that. That's going in,
Yeah.
and we're still kind of that. Joel and I are still kind of like that. We just we got to do that, as long as, although we do have some memory footprints on console to respect, that we're finding we're squeezing more room, and we have to kind of be cognizant of that with new ideas.
Yes.
So art memory, just so it doesn't run out of memory on the Xbox X, which is our S. I'm sorry.
Xbox S.
S is the lower memory for our lowest end spec.
Console, yeah.
But it's kind of in our DNA as a studio to do things that aren't, hey, we've got to stick to this idea. Well, wait, this is pretty cool. What about this new shiny thing?
Yeah.
And how much have we invested in this other thing? But we're going to try to respect the roadmap, but that roadmap will probably not portray every feature by any close to what actually goes in on top of that, or quality of life improvements, or every alpha, there's probably a couple of simulation options that give the game more replay value that we always love to do. And I don't know if we put on there, workshop. So workshop will be big in the long run too, I think.
You didn't put jetpacks on there, so I mean everything's not on there. I'm kidding.
Jetpacks. Everyone's asking for it.
Well, so there's a lot of stuff there, and will we do every idea that we've ever had for 7 days in 7 days main game? No, we'll probably move some ideas to a 7 day sequel. Because there's just so many ideas that have come in. So yeah, there'll be a separation at some point. And will it be free content? Yeah, we'll probably do free POIs and free balance patches and game modes and things like that. Even after the final update that's on the roadmap is in, we might also offer other forms of paid for content that come in too, without it being pay to win or doing anything unfair or overpriced along the way. That those bad practices that we've seen others do. We don't want to fall into those traps. But I think a lot of folks are excited for the console launch, and the architecture of the back end of the store forced us to sort of wait a minute, we can't name this what we want it to name it, and not without having a mismatch of naming or a branding confusion conundrum to deal with. So but yeah, we're planning on giving a discount to people who own the old console version already. And
it was like the year had like 70-something% off, right?
Right now, you mean?
No, to the previous console. I saw something. Sorry,
we don't know what the.
No, we haven't decided on what the discount will end up being yet. We're still working with those, and it could be something that has a duration that's pretty generous, like you got a quarter, 90 days or something to take advantage of that if you owned it already. Yeah, we're still navigating that, and I understand why people might be like, wow, the PC guys get it all, but we've got to pay this, but we didn't ask for Telltale to go and solve it and cause this conundrum. We were happy updating it as we were, and we probably would have been updating all of them in parity all along the way if that hadn't happened. And then we went through a period of about a year and a half where we didn't know if we'd ever get the rights back and the publishing rights. And we were like, well, we got to do what's best for our company and our business, which is to work with the PC version and move forward. And that led to some architectural changes that made it kind of impossible to update the old version.
I don't think I knew this story. So if I'm not wrong, Telltale had the publishing rights to 7 days on console, and then
yes.
And then I guess you guys got it back, obviously.
Yes.
All right.
They went out of business. They went bankrupt, and the rights to that got in limbo, and then we had to bid against others to get our rights back, publishing rights. So
that's always fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So we navigated.
I'm happy you guys got it back. That's great.
Yeah, we would have had to make this you know, by the time we got it back, though, it was just significant architectural changes in the PC version, and it's like, I don't think we can squeeze this down to that thing anymore. It already had so many differences, like the draw distance and the number of zombies, the number of trees and grass. There was so many tricks to squeeze it on that old hardware. The big advantage of doing the new hardware is that it has parity with PC and crossplay as possible. It would not be possible with this version, and that although crossplay may come with some small limitations, and I'll throw you guys that just so they know. We're still navigating, like if you're running a server and it has like maxed out settings or has modded settings that maybe would make it impossible to support crossplay with the consoles. You may have to like run an 8K world and not have this many zombies. So there'll be a range of vanilla settings on servers that will work with consoles, and
And we don't have those finalized yet, so
no.
Gotcha.
But we're anticipating. There's been discussions about that. What if it doesn't support 12K worlds? Okay, well, we can say if you change this setting, you know, it won't show up in their server list or whatever, and as a console player then,
Gotcha.
Or it'll give you an error message. You can't join that. They're running perimeters outside of supported perimeters.
Understood. Like the consoles can only handle so much. So.
Yeah. But I think it's going to be generous and it's going to be really good, and there's going to be a lot of parameters you can run that within the guidelines that'll make it fun and allow replay, and you play on insane mode and at least 8K world support. So it'll be good. It'll be just neat to for that community to be able to play the long-term persistent game where you join the server and you play on it with more than 4 people, and that's one of the experiences I think a lot of people like about 7 Days is the persistent server version of playing, you know.
I don't. I just know from what I play with these guys and when I play by myself.
Yeah.
What are you going to say?
Nothing.
Oh. Where do we go from here? Are we good? What time? I don't even know how. Did we? Was there anything
You went
else?
way over, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
They got to get to work.
Yeah, I'm sure. We appreciate you guys so much, all your hard work over the years.
Yeah.
I'm personally glad it took this long, and never for a second did I doubt anyone's intelligence because of it. Because if it didn't take this long, you wouldn't. All these things all fell into place right now. You know. Congratulations.
Yeah, guys.
Can't wait.
Hey, thanks so much for having us, and hit us up with that sort of comedy idea again. Maybe.
Oh, trust me,
Yeah.
I'm going to be
Don't get him
annoying.
started.
I'm going to be annoying the hell out of Lathan.
Yeah, we'll talk.
to read my script, Mr. Spielberg?
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys are the best. I hope you have a great day.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll be in touch.
Thank you all for having us.
Perfect. See you
Thank
guys.
you. Bye.
Bye, guys.